Hi there, a long time since the last vlog. Here in Waterton Canyon, kind of the edge of the Colorado Trail. Well, the east end, start or finish the Colorado Trail, basically heading out to the plains of Denver, but also heading up towards where the trail heading west, and you end in Durango, of course. But running up Waterton Canyon, it's a nice gravel road, soft surface, doing a medium long run. It's my first kind of longer effort back, hopefully get in 18-20 miles today. I'm ramping up training. It's only my second week back. I actually took a total week off, a rare planned break from training to recharge. I was really beat up mentally and physically after Scotland, Ring of Steel, and racing back-to-backs with Jungfrau, but made my goal, finished 8th overall in the Golden Trail Series ranking. Going to Otter Trail Race in a couple weeks, South Africa, and you know, we're doing it for representing different charities too, the top 10 men and top 10 women. We go to South Africa to do the final race, but they're going to donate some money to some of our charities, environmental charities, and you can see the list of charities. I'll link it. They have a Fund Me page. So, you know, running for a charity, trying to represent that, and a lot of perks. You know, I've always wanted to go trail running in South Africa, so really looking forward to that. But my next big goal, my next big focus in running will be on December 8th, and it's a Aravaipa running kind of it's a track race. I want to say, I guess elite maybe is the word, kind of a exhibition type of race for setting records, and it's a qualifier for the 24-hour team. People try to set age group records, people try to set 24-hour records, but I'm going after hopefully a 100-mile world record attempt. That's the goal. A fast 100 miles on a track, 402 laps, a little over 402 laps, and trying to go after the world record of 11 hours and 28 minutes. It's a tall order. It's a tall order. I'm not gonna lie, it's really ambitious. I don't mean to be cocky when I say I'm going for the world record. I'd love to just get the American record. Zach Bitter, 11:47, I think it is. You know, even finishing 100 miles under 12 hours would be a huge PR for me and a step forward. And, you know, just to go the distance, 100 miles is always humbling, no matter where it is. Any service, any distance, so you know me. And, you know, that's really the idea, is to go after a flat, fast 100 in a controlled environment, like a track, as boring as that sounds. Aravaipa running does a great job of putting this event on. With the timing and the certification, and I think the drug testing, hopefully. So, you know, it's a big deal. It's a good way to do it. December 8th in Phoenix, and hopefully it won't be too hot. But I think I've never done a fast runnable ultra. The fastest ultra I've ever done has been Comrades, and that still has 6,000 feet of climbing. So Comrades on an up here, and that was only 56 miles, right? So, you know, this is a fast, flat 100. I think, you know, it's really daunting. It's a pace of about 4:16 per kilometer, 6:52 per mile, and essentially you're putting almost 4 marathons back to back to back, 4 3-hour flat marathons back to back to back, right? 6:52 per mile pace for 100 miles, and yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be brutal. You could have all sorts of epic failures, from dehydration to muscle cramping, hip flexor pain from the turn of the track. We get to change direction, I believe. So I'm going to train on a lot of flat stuff. I'm going to train at paces slightly faster than that, and do some, you know, 50K, 30 mile plus long runs, probably mostly on a track to train for this, get my mileage up, hopefully over 120 miles a week, kind of train like a marathon runner, but with that long run focus and the fat burning capacity focus, hopefully, because it will take that, and I'll talk about more of some maybe carb depletion runs and things like that, strategic fueling, to get into that kind of 100-mile zone, 100-mile ultra training. Is, despite what my Hoka One teammate Carl Meltzer says, it's a long way. 100 miles, even if it's only an 11.5-hour race, hopefully faster than that, hopefully 11:27, you know, it's still 100 miles. It's still that big workout put, and it's a long way to go. So That's kind of the goal. I know it's a little crazy, any servicing distance. I've always wanted to do a flat, fast 100. I think there's less variables coming from a road running background, that I've come from a road background. Running flat road marathons, you know, I've done well at Chicago. I've been 17th at the Chicago Marathon, run 2:19 there. 9th place at Houston this year, running 2:19.50. So, you know, guys like Don Ritchie, who their marathon PR was 2:19, they've run 11:30 for 100 miles. He used to have the record. So I think it's doable, but you never know what's going to happen. It's a huge challenge. I've epically failed, obviously, at 100 milers. Freak accident at UTMB, but also having a meltdown at UTMB last year, and getting massively dehydrated, having a meltdown at Western States as well. So, you know, I've struggled on the trails. I think there's less variables that could go wrong actually on a flat track. And you have to be a flat, more of a road runner, track runner, but you know, I come from that background and I do love the mountains, but any service, any distance, I think I can control the pace. I like the idea of running fast and getting even splits and that consistent pacing. So that's the idea. I'm going to document this hopefully in a training vlog and a series of workouts so you can see my progression, but that's the next big running goal. I'll let you guys know, as well as getting footage from South Africa, the Otter Trail race in a couple weeks. But let's get out to Waterton Canyon, get some miles in. So I got the Hokoneone Clifton 5s on. Nice and warm already. Got a Nathan handheld here with some Electro Ride, a couple Spring Energy Canaday gels. So the great thing about the mouth of the canyon here is it starts off as this gravel road that's close to vehicles and traffic. It's a slight uphill for about, I think it's about 8 miles to the actual single track of the Colorado Trail, but it's the official start. Goes along this nice river here. It's a great place to run, ride your bike, walk, hike, and there's a lot of bighorn sheep in the area, so hopefully we'll see some today. Ooh, it's hot. So I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, Sage, you're crazy. You're jumping around too much. Just true. I've only been doing marathons this year mostly. Just one ultra with Speed Goat, and including that, I've done over 7 marathon races this year. A lot of them, in my opinion, the most competitive mountain ultra trail races in the world, the Golden Trail Series especially, some of those events. But yeah, I've raced a lot. Over 10 races, if you count my shorter mountain races like Mount Washington, Shamrock Run, 15K, those shorter races. So it's a lot of running, but I think I have enough time by getting some good base miles now to extend that speed, extend that endurance. That's really the goal. And on a flat track, you know, I think it correlates better to road running. Even though it's an ultra, you double the distance, quadruple the distance. You don't always have to slow down your pace by that much. You definitely do for 100 miles, but I think it's doable. And, you know, I have yet to finish. Ooh, bighorn sheep. See if we get closer. Hey, buddy. Excuse me, sorry. King of the mountain right there. Looked like a little baby. Last time I was here, there was a herd of like 30 of them that came charging off the cliffs, kicking down rocks. Nothing was gonna stop them. Super inspiring creatures, you know, the real goats, the original OGs out here. You know, they were here first. We're intruding into their habitat and land. This is a beautiful canyon though. The water. Ah, the king on his throne. I see you up there. Hey buddies, it's okay. You gotta move, buddy. It's dangerous out here. There's a lot of bikes. Get off to the side. Come on, get in the grass. Get in the grass. Go, 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 go. There you go. That is a big dam. So like I said, first 6 miles on this gravel road, and then it kicks up. I've been slowly going gradually uphill. but then it gets really steep up to the single track where the kind of the official Colorado Trail single track part starts. So I'm about 6 miles in. See how much climbing we have. Don't want to do too much of that. Oof, duh, that was a climb. Ooh, if I see a bear, I'm gonna name him Smokey. All right, so here we go. Single track. Actually hit this a little earlier than I wanted to. So I might go out 9, make it an 18-mile run, because this is gonna be slow going. Climbing on the single track, I actually wanna avoid this now, ironically. As a mountain ultra trail runner, we're gonna put focus in ultra, and that's gonna be flat running. None of the single track. The leaves are finally starting to die up here, change color. Beautiful day, nice and toasty for October. Hasn't snowed yet. It's great. So as I've gotten older, run a lot of miles, raced pretty much every month. Most months in the last 5 years I've done a race. A lot of times it's been an ultra race. I've gotten a little more quad dominant. I've always kind of had thunder thighs, but I think all the climbing got into some sloppy form where I rely too much on my quads and hip flexors, and I don't get as much power as I used to have. So it's been a real focus to get the glutes activated again, get the butt muscles firing basically. So I got a lazy butt. I work at a computer editing videos with poor form. I should work, I'm gonna get a standing desk. I'm gonna squat more in the gym, but just for glute activation. Do more skipping and bounding drills, and then focus when I'm running uphill, downhill, and flat on flexing your glutes, butt muscles. Take the load off the quads. I swear the shape of my legs have changed over the years, and it's not been in a good way. When I did a lot of speed work, road running, I got a more powerful stride, longer stride. I was activating my glutes more and using my hamstrings to pull myself up, because the quads get tired. The quads got built up, I think, in a very awkward way, and it started pulling on my back a little bit, my side joint. So got to balance things out, be resistant to injury, be strong all around, and run with good form. Open up that diaphragm. Got to focus on keeping my head up, keep that chin up so you can breathe well. But when I get really tired in races and I'm falling apart, you see this, right? Looking down at the ground, discouraged. Hurts the back of my neck. So keep the head up. You don't have to look all the way up the hill, but keep that head up, neck straight, diaphragm open in the chest cavity and stomach. Work on that core. It's not just abs, it's about hip flexor, lower back. Man, this is a steep switchback. Doing a lot of climbing. I forgot about this part. It's fun though. After this I'll do more flat long runs though. Gotta do it. Yeah, look at those leaves. Ah, beautiful. Colorado Trail. But anyway, that's a wrap for this vlog. Guys, I'll keep you updated with my workouts, training progress for this 100-mile world record all-speed attempt, as well as my travel to South Africa in a couple weeks for the Otter Trail Race. Again, you can donate to the Golden Trail Series Charity Fund. Put a link in the website or in the description below. Supporting, they're all environmental causes, so it's good to give back, help protect the environment, the animals, natural habitats, ecosystem, try to reduce our carbon emissions, things like that. So thanks so much for your support, guys. Big thanks to the Patreon supporters, really making all these videos possible. I'm gonna get back into some better podcasting. I got some new equipment thanks to the generosity of Patreon. Look at that view. Some new audio equipment, as well as always trying to upgrade some video equipment probably in the future here, and get better with the editing, bring you guys videos that you want to see, media you want to see. Thanks so much again. Really appreciate your support. Hope your running's going well. Stay tuned for more. Woo!